11:02 a.m. ET. Rebecca Aguilar,
Here.
Raphael,
Here.
Jerry,
Here.
Yvette Walker,
Here.
Lauren Barlett.
Here.
Yay. Who am I missing? Claire Regan
Here.
and Matthew Hall
I'm here too.
and Bailing.
Here. Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, so I'll hand it over to you, John. Matt, John, whichever was gonna start it.
Yeah, no, thanks. I appreciate that, Yvette. And I just want to start by, as I've done the past few meetings, kind of calling us to business with some journalists in mind, specifically those in Northern California covering the wildfires, those in New Orleans and Louisiana and the surrounding areas covering the aftermath of Ida, and those in New York, New England, and elsewhere who are also covering Ida, who's sticking around and thinking she's gonna keep the party going for a little while longer than she should. I just quickly, because I have the mic for a few more days and a few more minutes here. We're all climate change reporters. What I just said shows that more than ever. So keep that in mind as you're covering your beats, whether it's City Hall or school boards or destruction like we're seeing this week. Climate change is real and we need to report it so that people get a sense of what's happening. And with that, I will entertain a motion on the minutes.
I move we approve the minutes.
Do I got a second?
Yes, second.
Okay, motion by Lauren, second by Yvette Walker. All those in favor, say aye.
Matt, before.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Raphael has a comment.
I don't see it reflected in the Dropbox right now. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong. I had submitted some context to the discussion, and I don't see it in the minutes as they are in the Dropbox.
Yes, Raphael, John gave me those changes. I just haven't had a chance to make them yet, but I do have them and I will make them before we save the final version in Dropbox. Thank you.
Should we?
Do you want, Lauren, a friendly amendment?
Could you share what the essence of the changes are, Raphael, just for everybody's awareness?
If you
Want to
give
drop
me a
those in
second
chat?
here, it's I need to actually find the what I sent over. Okay, it is there's a paragraph that begins, Aguilar said she pursues everything as a journalist. I wanted to add to the end of that paragraph that Olmeda, expressed the position that chapters acted within their rights and that everything Hall did was within his right as an SPJ member, a board member, and president. And then in the paragraph after that, conversation shifted to SPJ 21. I wanted to insert the sentence, Olmeda said that the board members who voted for an all virtual conference were vindicated in their expectation that it was too soon to meet in person again. I think that the rest of the paragraph makes a little bit more sense in light of that comment.
Well, in light of those changes, I would have an additional change because I also said that those who've been voted in favor of an all virtual conference were not vindicated because they would have cost the society $155,000 plus. So if we could add that, Jennifer, as well. And with those two sets of amendments, I accept them as friendly amendments. Are they okay with you, Yvette Walker?
Yes, I will second that.
Okay. Thank you, Raphael. I dropped Raphael's additions in the chat for all those to see. Thank you, Lauren and Yvette Walker. And I see Claire has her hand up.
Just a minor correction to the spelling of my first name, just to add an E on the end. Thank you.
Thank you, Claire. Okay, with that, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? Seeing none, the motion carries unanimously, and those minutes are approved. Moving on to the next item on our agenda, it is public comment. And so if anyone wants to raise a hand to say anything, please do so now. Hazel, I see your hand up. You can go first.
Hi, I don't want to talk about the stuff we've all been talking about for a few weeks or a couple months now. I just want to say one more thing. This past week has been difficult for the freelance community, and particularly the people who are presenting breakout sessions at this conference. I am so proud to be working alongside the board of the freelance community, which has bounced back and created our own Freelance Corner outside the conference app and populated it with resources for freelancers. These people have worked so hard to get done what we needed to do for, and I 100% appreciate them. I just wanted to say that.
Thank you, Hazel. Appreciate those remarks. Anyone else want to take an opportunity during public comment to say anything? Seeing no other hands, or, oh, Andrew Seaman. Go for it, Andrew.
Yeah, so no, I just, since is opportunity, I just want to say great work, Matt, on a year as president. You've always been a straight shooter, and you know, I think that's how you served, so great work. And then obviously great work to staff for sort of rolling with all the changes that you've had to deal with this year. So, you know, from a member, just appreciated.
Thank you very much, Andrew. I really do appreciate that. And staff, I will vouch for staff's amazing grace and accomplishments this year. Any other members of the public? Okay, seeing none, let's move on to other items on the agenda. And I guess we're moving to me with my president's report. I'm not going to take up too much time. I appreciate Andrew's remarks. I do think it takes a village, and we showed that this year. We had a lot of accomplishments, as you can see from my written report, and we never once met in person, which is incredible to me that John was able to work with his staff remotely, and that we were all able to connect, you know, not 4 or 6 times this year, but 12. This is the 12th meeting of the year, which I hope no other board has to meet 12 times. But we got a lot accomplished, and we handled some difficult decisions with some grace of our own. I think some of them got emotional, but it was an emotional year, you know? And so I think I just want to thank all the board members, all the committee and community members, the chapter leaders and members, every SPJ member, every journalist around the world who had to put up with a pandemic and an overdue racial reckoning that has swept through newsrooms and not made as many changes as we would like to see, as quickly as we would like to see them. But this is a process and a conversation. I think our board and our membership, you know, was at the forefront of that conversation, which made me proud to be an SPJer and proud to continue being an SPJer once Rebecca takes the mic and the gavel. So thank you to all, especially to staff who, as I said, couldn't have done a better job under a more difficult situation. And I really appreciate John in particular captaining the ship, but everyone, you know. We communicated at odd hours, Jennifer and I, via text and other means. And I appreciate her, specifically her accessibility. And I could go down the list. You saw all the names in there. I'm grateful for all the work that people at headquarters did this year. And so a special shout out to them all. And I'll just close with, I think this is fitting, with their names of those staffers who were here and those who left us. So to John, Jennifer, Ashlyn, Billy, Caroline, Jake, Karen, Larry, Linda, Lou, Nate, Rod, Samuel, Tony, and Zoe, thank you from the bottom of my heart for helping keep the ship moving forward in a tough year. You guys meant a lot, and the board did too. So thanks, everyone. I appreciate it. And with that, if anyone has a comments about my report, I'm happy to entertain questions. Rebecca.
Yeah, let me jump in real quick. Matt, first of all, thank you for allowing the board to be independent thinkers. Independent thinkers with our own passions and our own, and our purpose for our membership. I keep hearing, oh, I don't like the fighting. I never looked at it as fight. I looked at it as that we have passion and we have a purpose. And, some of our conversations were very passionate and very strong. But the beauty of all of it is that you, Matt, allowed us to be independent thinkers, not clones of each other, because we all bring something new to the table. We all have different experiences from our diverse backgrounds, wherever we come from our different ages and experiences. And so I want to say thank you. Thank you for allowing me to be me, not try to change me. I don't know how many times people are like, yeah, you need to, this, you hear it, you've heard it yourself, Matt. So thank you. Thank you for, this can't be easy with all these voices in your head. And I even feel it already, and I haven't even started. So thank you more than anything for allowing us to show our passion, show our purpose. And at the same time, we leave as friends, and you will always be a friend of mine. And so thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Thank you very much, Rebecca. I appreciate that. Yvette Davila-Richards.
I just wanted to also thank you, Matt. I served as Secretary Treasurer under your presidency. It was an interesting year. We met virtually, like you stated, the entire time. New thing for all of us who have served on boards. But yes, it was passionate. Yes, we got to speak our minds. But I'm grateful to have gotten to know you more. I'm grateful to have been able to share in your ideas and your thoughts and your sentiments. I'm glad for this board that we got to be together. And hopefully we can continue chatting. I know we had differences of opinions in a big way, but I hope, if anything that the pandemic year has taught us is that we all need each other. And if there's anything you guys may ever need from me that I can help here in the Northeast, please, by all means, reach out. I truly mean that. I hope no one takes that as like, oh, I'm trying to extend an olive branch. I really am for everyone's well-being, safety, and happiness. And so if you happen to be in the Northeast, reach out. I'll take you for a glass of wine, a cup of coffee. The same if I were to go visit any one of the states where you may reside. So I just wanted to thank you, Matt, and thank the board, and hope we can continue working together in the future.
Thank you, Yvette. Well said. Any other comments? Seeing none, we can zip over. John, to your Executive Director's report.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate that. I feel like my internet is a little unstable. Can everybody hear me okay? Okay, if for some reason I get off a little bit, we've got a full team of staff members here today. So it's weird. I think our building's internet connection is being overloaded. It's not used to this again. So I want to start with basically within my written report, I called attention to how much I felt the board effectively dealt with so many unprecedented challenges this year. There were moments where I know it got very sensitive, it got very difficult, yet, and that happens, I think, especially when you're not able to deal with a lot of these looking at each other face to face when you're on a screen and all that. And I just am very impressed with here we sit, and the organization is stronger than it was last year. Our events were pivoted effectively. The decisions we made had all had positive impacts on the organization. So in that sense, you should be pretty pleased with your year. I have a quote that I often share when I train boards. In a previous life, I used to do that. And it's a quote from a book about board governance. And it says, board members need to come prepared, rise to the occasion, work diligently as a group, and expect to be intellectually taxed by complex and consequential questions. And I feel that pretty much defines these past 12 months. In my report, I called out especially Matt, of course, as the outgoing president. I called out Lauren and Yvette as 2-year board members since I've been here and departing the board. I failed and should have more specifically also called out Bailing and Jerry, who are also retiring off the board and were fantastic contributors and provided so much wisdom during our year together. So to you all who are departing, thank you for your service. And I look forward to tapping into your wisdom in the years to come. And those coming back, let's get to work. We got lots to do still. So otherwise, that's SPJ 21 is off and running. As I said, we have a team here that's paying attention to everything that's going on. Clearly, we being virtual for many reasons was the right call. Our hearts go out to our friends in New Orleans, and we obviously felt bad not being able to bring business to that city, even when they were going through the COVID struggles. But now, even so, after the hurricane, that city is in dealing with a lot of struggle right now, and our hearts go out to them. So we're going to do our best to try to put on a virtual convention. Got great registration numbers, a lot added in the last week, and last night we opened with a pre-conference session that was really well done, and I think people really enjoyed. So we'll continue to move along throughout the day and the next 2 days, and expecting it to go really well. If at any point, board members, you have any questions about any of the things about where you ought to be or any of the links that you need or anything like that, you can reach out to me. We'll try our best to get that addressed quickly. And if everybody's just on that website, that's pretty much, I think, a pretty safe place to find what you need. But if you need more than that, feel free to reach out to me. Otherwise, I'll take questions or comments. The report detailed progress towards our goals that we set last year. We still have a few months left in 2021, but I feel pretty good about what we've achieved. And that's what I'll share with the membership at our opening business session later. We've achieved a lot of stuff, done a lot of things in the last 12 months. Still have 3 months to go, like I said, and have a lot yet to do. And in the midst of that, we'll also be setting goals for the next year as well with the new board that will be installed soon. So questions or comments from here, and thank you again for all you do as a board.
Thank you, John. Any questions from the board first? Rebecca.
I really don't have any questions for John. Just want to say also thank you to you and your staff. Amazing job under the pressures that you're under, and against again, different voices on the board, and you guys are professionals and did everything with patience. And I look forward to this conference. Last night was an excellent start with the documentary. I was there. And so thank you to you and your entire staff for, working the system the way it's supposed to work. Nothing is ever perfect, but I appreciate your patience with us, your professionalism, and I look forward in continuing to work with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Thank you.
Any other board members or members of the public want to comment on that? Okay, seeing none. Why don't we move on to Yvette Davila-Richards, back to you with a pretty great treasurer's report. Take it away, Yvette.
Hello, everyone again. So yes, my last finance committee as chair, conferring with John and with Nate, everything looked good. We didn't have a financial loss the way we thought, definitely because we pivoted. So that was a great thing to have gotten done. John was going to detail more on the finances, but I want to say how proud I am that things went okay. You know, things went okay. We were all very scared and skeptical as to how big of a hit we would get. The hotel let us off the hook. I know that boat ride was the one that we were still worried about because it was still charging us, but we're working through it. So John, if you can take it away as to the details of it all, that'll be great.
Yeah, thank you, Yvette. And I do think it's a very positive financial picture right now for the organization. We are in about as good a shape as we've been, at least since I started my tenure. And a lot of that is due to, you know, the ability to save some expenses due to the lack of traveling and other things and other events that we would have typically hosted in a given year. Obviously, we missed some of those events. You know, sometimes, you know, you don't want to pocket all this money and not see each other. So hopefully next year we'll be able to get back to that. But for now, we're saving on some of those things, and that's helping the bottom line as well as some other factors. But let me give Jake an opportunity. He showed up today to give any high level thoughts he wants to give, and then we'll gladly accept any questions from the board.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I hope everybody can hear me. I think some of you know I've been here for quite some time. Then I kind of had a period of time when I wasn't, and I came back, and I tell you, the financials right now are actually the best I've seen in like 15 plus years. And there's several reasons for that, of course, and some of what John just mentioned. But as Matt can attest to, a couple of years turnaround is quite a bit of we're in a lot better shape than we were 2 years ago. So I did want to just say that, and it's been like I said, a pleasure working with you guys, and I'm glad that we were able to work through all this stuff relating to the convention, and it's kind of interesting how it turned out in the end anyway, but saved us a lot of money by not having to pay for those exorbitant penalty fees. But basically the assessment of the organization is that our membership is coming in as we've projected, which is very good. We started a new database, and we had a couple of hiccups with that, but we're cranking through that, and our membership is doing well. As John said, we've saved significant funds by not having events, meals and banquets, board travel, staff travel, things like that. So although those are not the optimist way we want to go, it certainly had helped us kind of come back around to helping build up our reserves because they were getting pretty low. And the other major impact in helping us with our reserves was getting the payroll protection loan from the government. And we were able to fully utilize $195,000 that was sent to us that would have had to have been paid out of our own funds. And so we're in the process with the bank of applying for forgiveness on the debt, is what it's called. The bank didn't, at the time of writing this, the bank didn't have our ability to go in there and do that yet. They're working on larger loans before, and they just kind of work their way down. So, but I have no doubt that it will all be forgiven. I've gone through this a couple times with different organizations, and as long as you spend the money on what you're supposed to spend it on, the government will release the debt, and you won't be responsible for it. So that's what I'm expecting. But it basically helped us double our net assets from where they were. That between the travel, the revenue that we're coming in, the money we're getting from Google and Facebook to putting on their programs, all of our revenue streams just helped contribute to this, our being able to increase our reserves to a little bit of a comfortable level than where they were. I believe that's really all that I was going to say on a broad perspective. I didn't know if anybody had any questions on that or anything. I guess I'll just open it up for questions if somebody.
Yeah, I just had one quick question before I pass it over to, it looks like Lauren has her hand up first. I don't know if this is a question for Jake or for John, but last we talked, the loan holdout, or the biggest holdout on any kind of cancellation fee was the riverboat. And I wonder if IDA changed that situation, if you can update us on that, or if we're still on the hook for, I think it was $7,500.
Katie did reach out to them earlier this week. Obviously, it's a tough time for them to be responsive, so we'll know more, I imagine, in a couple of weeks' time. But she did reach out with those under those auspices that had we been there, we would not have been able to utilize the riverboat. So we'll see. Again, that's a hit of $7,500. So if that isn't possible, or we can't transfer that to another organization, that would be the extent of our penalties overall, which is not a small amount of money, but it's a lot better than it could have been. So.
Yeah, no, definitely a relatively small portion. I appreciate you reaching out, and I really appreciate you doing so with sensitivity, given all that everyone is going through down there. Thanks for doing that, John. Lauren.
Thanks, Matt. First, I wanted to start out commending John and Jake for turning the budget around. I know I've said it before, but I don't think it can be said enough, because we were in a really, really frightening financial place, quite frankly. And because of their hard work, we're on solid ground. So I want to thank you both very much for that. And then I have a few questions. First question, of course. So first question is, since we have learned the hard way that there are crazy things that could happen that were not in typical contract boilerplate language, what are we doing moving forward to make sure anything like, a resurgence of this pandemic or anything else is in a contract, in a clause in the contract to get us out of it, so that we won't face the situation that we were in this year?
I could start with that answer. So 2022, we are inheriting a contract. So we're sort of sidling into a contract that CMA and ACP already had. So I'm not sure there's much that can be done there. What can be done, though, is we buy conference insurance every year. So we can ensure that as we look at that insurance policy, we try to find a policy that would protect us from something of that nature. I know that in this business, however, that probably would mean the policy is going to be quite expensive. So we'll just have to weigh that. But future contracts, 2023 and 2024, yes, we definitely will look at it, and our attorneys will help us as well, looking at it with an eye towards the past 2 years of experience that we've had, and making sure that we were as protected as possible.
Thanks, John. Question about paying property tax. Is this different than the tax on the land and the building, because we'd gotten a waiver on that several years back?
Yeah, I'm sorry about this because this has come up before. Basically, that's for our sewer bill. So we are exempt from paying what true property taxes and real estate taxes. So that is a very good thing, and we worked really hard to get that accomplished. So we do not owe property taxes. We're exempt in the state of Indiana, so that saves us a lot of money every year, and it's because of non-for-profit status. But we have to pay a sewer bill, and I just coded it to that because that's what it seems like to me, but probably I could have put it to utilities, so I'll try to do that next time.
Thanks very much, Jake. And just for clarity, John, the only potential cost at this point from New Orleans is the $7,500 from the riverboat, and everything else was forgiven?
Yes, everything else was forgiven.
Okay. Thank you both.
Thanks, Lauren. Any other members of the board before I go to the public? I see Beth, I see your hand, so we'll get to you shortly. Seeing no board members. Beth, take it away.
Well, I'm the president of the Detroit Pro chapter, and I compliment John and the staff and the board for trying to work through so many entanglements in these difficult times. So kudos to you all. In Detroit, we did have a lot of rants about some different decisions and some miscues as far as communication getting back and forth and whether or not our share of dues were ever going to get back to us, and a computer system that we, as with other chapters, had to wade through. But I understand all that, and I'm happy that there's progress with it. John, if you can refresh my memory, though, what exactly is the amount of reserves that we have?
So
I can answer that for you.
you know the exact number, Jake, go ahead.
All right, so as of June 30th, so all my reports that you see are as of June 30th, it's just over 576,000.
Thank you very much.
It was 285,000 at the end of 2020.
That's my question. Thank you.
Thanks, Beth. Any other members of the public? Seeing none. Yeah, we'll just close with another note of thanking both Jake and John for really well handling of the finances. Very much appreciated at a difficult time. And with that, we can scoot over to committee and community reports, and we can handle these. A lot of them are in written form in your packets, but if any of the committee chairs would like to give a verbal report, we can go down the list alphabetically. And before we get started with Andy Schatz, I just want to say huge thanks to everyone who either continued in their role as a committee chair under my presidency or stepped into the role in a difficult time and did pretty incredible work. Any organization, any membership organization is only as good as its membership, and these members and leaders did pretty amazing work throughout the year on a wide range of issues and subjects, as you will soon hear and as you can see already with those reports. So why don't we kick the mic over to Andy in case you want to say anything verbally.
Sure, Matt. I tried to spell it out in the committee report, but just for the sake of people who are here on the call, the awards committee is kind of in its busy season right now. After awards end, we take some time and let the staff decompress and the committee decompress, and then we dive in each year and do a top to bottom look at all of our contests. This year was a particularly thorny year for lots of things, questions, the challenges of COVID, the challenges of adding categories and finding more judges, Lou being new on the job and having a lot to learn very quickly. But we are diving in right now in the thick of things, and over the next several weeks, we'll be continuing to get through as much as we can because Lou has a deadline, which is to try to start the next award season the beginning of November. So that's where we are.
Thanks, Andy. It's a long list, so I'll just call out folks alphabetically, and if they're on the call and want to add anything, please do. And if anyone has any questions on any of this, just send up a hand and interrupt the order. But Bob Becker, you're next.
Hi, Matt. The only thing I have to say, our work has to be done before July 1st. So there's nothing's happened since the last board meeting. The only thing I have to say is our committee is meeting at 2:15 today. The link is in the calendar or the schedule for the conference, and it is open to anybody who wants to attend.
Thanks, Bob. Appreciate that and your work this year. Next to Rebecca.
Hi, everyone. Well, first of all, we have 6 diversity fellows. We have the diversity leadership fellowship, and we have 6 great people, different experiences from 20 years to just a couple of years. This morning, we have something called Morning with the Fellows, where I bring in a guest speaker that empowers and inspires them to, be champions of change in the world of diversity, whether it's age, gender, our different religious backgrounds, ethnic backgrounds. And so it's great. The fellows during the conference will be tweeting on SPJ 21 diversity. So look out, that's part of their homework. They go to different, I let them go wherever they want to go, whatever meets their needs. Yvette and I have put together this program with our committee. And so feel free to, get to know them. They're out there. Headquarters has, put out their names and everything. Thank you, John and Jennifer and staff for that. And so it's, you know, I'm excited. They have full energy and they're proud to be in this diversity program. And thank you to all of you who continue to support this leadership program for them. That's the key thing that I wanted to tell you. And in the afternoons, we have aha moments with them to let them tell us what was their aha moment, which is important. And so, yeah, I want to keep my report short. Also, real quick, for any of you out there, I mean, this is not about the diversity, but, you know, remember, if you want to sit on a committee, lead a committee, let me know. Let me know right away, because, you know, I'm in that pattern right now, which I'm taking Matt Hall's lead on this, you know, open up the committees to everybody, give everybody a chance to lead and be on a committee. And thank you for putting me in that direction, Matt. It was good advice. Thank you. All right, that's it. Thank you, Yvette, too.
Thanks, Rebecca. And it's great to see that continue. That's great news. Next, I don't see Danielle or Haston on the call, and Yvette just gave the Finance Committee report a minute ago. So why don't we scoot down to Yvette Walker with the Journalism Education Committee, if you want to say any words.
Yeah, thank you, Matt. Won't go into detail. However, I just wanted to thank the committee. Like this group, we decided to meet almost monthly, which was kind of unheard of for this committee, because there were a lot of things that we wanted to take a look at, things that we were doing, and some new ideas that have been proposed. So I thank them for sticking in there with that. And I encourage everyone to read the report. I think that there's some interesting ideas and innovative ideas that we're looking at, as well as the great program, Press for Education, that continues and that continues to help the educators in this country by having journalists come in, either virtually or in person. Obviously, it's been virtually in the last year and a half, to come in and actually share some information and education with students. And so that is a great program that continues. Also, I just wanted to say thank you to John for mentioning I'm rolling off the board. It's actually been 3 years, because I had an unusual 1-year tenure and then a 2-year tenure. So it's been great being on the board. I will continue, thanks to Rebecca, I will continue to be on the Journalism Education Committee, and I'm looking forward to continuing my work with that. So thanks very much.
Thank you, Yvette. Really appreciate all the hats you wore this year. It was more than just the 2, so truly appreciated. Next up on the list here, looks like Joe Radsky, the Regional Coordinator Chair. Joe, do you want to say anything?
Sure. Let me turn my camera on here. Oops. Yeah, just briefly, it was, you know, I jumped into the RC caucus role late and in time to work with a great group of RCs. We got the Excellence Awards pushed ahead, and I will reach out, though, that we received 0 chapter grant applications for August, and October is next. So if you are in a chapter, know a chapter, love a chapter, check out that page, and you can. We'd love to give you some money, some free money. And I just want to give a quick shout out to Jennifer Ellis, because I couldn't have done this without her. She was awesome. Thanks, Jennifer.
Thanks, Joe. I'll second that. Jennifer is awesome. And I really appreciate you stepping in mid-voyage and leading the group this year. Truly appreciate it, man. You've always been ready to step up over the years with SPJ, and this year was no exception.
Yeah, and Matt, if I could, I'd also like to thank Joe and Jennifer. I've served as the liaison to the RCs for the past 2 years, and John, actually, this is my 4th consecutive year on the board. They're a great group of people who are dedicated and really care about all the members in their regions, and I want to thank them for all their hard work. And I especially want to thank Joe for stepping in when needed.
Okay, and it looks like next up is Hillary. Hillary, thank you for heading the freelance committee. Do you want to say anything verbally?
Hi, thanks so much. And sorry, I can't put my video on. I'm having some technical issues with my laptop screen. But at any rate, yeah, I'll let the report speak for itself. But I did just want to point out a couple things. One that's not in the report because it came up just sort of at the last minute. We're not able to have a freelance corner, like a virtual freelance corner within the Chime app. So we put together our own freelance corner, and there is a link to it. It's on Zoom through an account that I created for the freelance community. And there's in the resources section of the Chime app, there's a PDF that has information about how to get to the freelance corner. And I just wanted to invite everybody to join us there. We have a few scheduled events today, a brown bag lunch, tomorrow night, a happy hour, and on Saturday morning, a coffee clatch, which will be probably way too early for any of you West Coasters, but just wanted to let you know that we're trying to like recreate the networking opportunities virtually that we would enjoy and invite you to and hopefully interact with you at during the in-person conference. So I wanted to let you know about that. And then otherwise, just bring your attention, if you haven't had a chance to read the community's report, bring your attention to two sections that I think are more like relevant to the organization as a whole, that go, beyond like just sort of describing the work that we're doing for freelancers. One of them is some sort of like logistical complications that are coming up from lack of documentation about how communities operate. I mentioned those a little bit in the report, and also sort of made a call out for a request for improved like structural communications channels within the organization that will help community leaders and chapter leaders connect. That's just like a possible solution that I think might help folks stay on the same page as we're all working on the same team, and sometimes feeling like we're working against each other in the process. But really, I do think that we are all on the same. I think that everybody has the best interests of the organization and its members in mind and in their hearts, and has different thoughts and opinions about how to achieve the best results. So the more we can do to communicate on a frequent and regular basis as chapter and community leaders, I think that would go a long way towards helping us like iron out those differences and find common ground and move forward together. So I just wanted to point that out, and then echo all of the sentiments of appreciation from earlier in the meeting for all of the board members and the staff. Y'all are really phenomenal to work with and really inspiring. Thank you.
Thanks, Hillary. That would be a great note to end on, but Sunny Alvarado is last on the list. Last but not least. Sunny, do you want to say anything for your report?
Yeah, just 1 second, start my video. Hey, everybody. I just wanted to say thank you to past presidents and past boards that have allowed me to represent SPJ on the Accrediting Council on Education in Journalism and Mass Communications, a mouthful, ACEJMC. I see on the agenda it's identified as AEJMC, which is an entirely different organization. That organization represents educators in journalism and mass comm. Anyway, I want to thank Rebecca for indicating that she plans to nominate me for continuing to represent SPJ on the council. And I think the report speaks for itself, but if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Thanks, Sonny, for that and for all you do for SPJ and all you've done over the years. Truly appreciate it. And with that, we're moved to our last item on the agenda, which is an appreciation for the outgoing board members. And I just want to, before I kick the mic over to John, just say that I've really appreciated everyone on the board's commitment to it. We had a long list of meetings. The meetings themselves went long, but we did amazing work. So to Rebecca, thank you very much. To Yvette Davila Richards, thank you very much. To Claire Regan, thank you very much. To Raphael Almeida, thank you very much. You guys have, to do the work now. For those of us cycling off, we hand the keys over to you, and we know that you will keep the society's best interests at heart and do equally incredible work. And for that, I thank you for work done and work yet to do. And for those cycling off, starting with Lauren Bartlett, who has been on the board in one form or another for near an eternity. Thank you, Lauren, for all you've done from your first days at UCLA. Thank you very much. Thank you, Yvette Walker, for your years of service on this board, and to SPJ. And I'm glad to hear that you're going to continue helping students, because you do that amazingly well. Thank you very much. And to my longtime friends, confidants, and 1 year board appointees, Beiling, Shaw, and Jerry McCormick. Thank you guys for stepping up in a hard year. When I first called and asked if you were interested, those were some interesting conversations themselves. But you have done incredible work all year long in the names of students, particularly. And I thank you guys both from the bottom of my heart. And with that, I kick it over to you, John.
Can I
Matt,
say
you
something
said-
real quick?
Sure.
John, excuse me, can I say something real quick?
Sure.
And John, excuse me, not to go into your area, but we sent you something, Matt.
Okay.
Where is it? Is it nearby?
It is nearby. I have it handy here.
Could you open it?
Yay.
I basically, everybody.
There's the note that says, don't open it until this moment.
Like a Christmas present, but this is something from the board, because we do, and feel free, open it up. It's like your Christmas present right now.
In fact, it is a Christmas present.
Yeah.
Christmas in our family.
Feel free to share the card if you'd like. And what we gave, just a little appreciation.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yay.
For your desk.
Very much appreciated. Amazon gift card, very much appreciated. This will go directly to my video game addiction.
Oh, good.
I'm playing video games at 3 in the morning and trying to keep my kids asleep and not have them bug me at that hour, because they are still up, as those the teenagers will know. I will think of you guys.
And feel free to read the front of that card. Did you get that card in there?
Yeah, here, wait, let me open this.
Because I think it's so you.
Pietro Aretino, of all the things granted us by wisdom, none is greater or better than friendship.
Exactly.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you, you guys. I appreciate this very, very, very much.
Thank you. And so just, before we go, over to John. John, I'm not trying to break into your time. I want to toast. Everybody, where's your coffee? Where's your sodas? Let me see them. I need the screen. John in his dapper suit over there. Andy, what do you got? All right. A toast to you, Matt, for being a class act, for guiding us through one hell of a year, for being the leader that we needed during this time. And at the same time, like I said, allowed us to be independent thinkers. Cheers to you.
Cheers to you.
Thank you. Cheers, you guys. Back at you. Thanks much.
You're welcome. John, it's over to you.
Yeah, I think Matt, you and Rebecca both kind of said everything that was on my mind. I just want to, make sure there's a spot on the agenda to not move too quickly without saying thank you to those board members who are leaving us this year. You will receive a certificate from the organization suitable for framing and in your office or wherever you wish. And that will be delivered to you at some point. And just hearty thanks from the staff for all of the efforts you put in. Many of us are also volunteers in other organizations, so we understand what the pressures can feel like, and that you have day jobs, but yet you still keep coming back to SPJ to help. And an organization of this size and scope is especially, a heavy lift sometimes. And you do it with with grace. So thank you very much for that. There are a couple of people I think that wanted to have raised their hand, so I'll be free to call on them. And Claire, your hand is raised.
Thanks, John. I just want to thank Matt and you, John, and the staff and all the fellow board members for steering us through choppy waters this year. As journalists, we're all articulate, so it's no surprise that we're going to have passionate, lively discussions. And one thing that we will always have in common is that we are all dedicated to SPJ. I always feel that underneath our discussions. So I appreciate that. It inspired me this year. And thank you to the departing board members for also inspiring me.
Thank you, Claire.
Jerry, you have your hand up.
Yes, I'm going to have to dip out in like 2 minutes, but I just want to say this before I left. I just want to thank each and every one of you, my fellow board members. I've actually had some personal challenges this year with a couple of deaths in my family and work issues, and you all have been super, super supportive. So I thank you for this. I have to admit, this is my first year with SPJ, and for the longest time, I was not a member because, and I'll be honest, because I didn't see a lot of diversity in this group, but I'm really proud of Matt for bringing in a diverse board. And I think this is one of the most diverse boards in the history of SPJ. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it is. And so
It's the most.
It is.
It's the superlative. It's definitive. Yeah.
Yeah, I am so proud to have been a part of this and a member of this. And obviously I'll continue my membership. I want to thank my sister in education, Bailene, because we've had some really good conversations and we worked really hard to further the mission of SPJ, especially with students. And for those continuing on the board, I wish you all the very best of luck and know that I'll be here of service to you guys. And then last but not least, Matt, you and I go way back, way back. And I'm just so proud to see how you've grown as a journalist and a leader. And I'm proud that we spell our names Friend. So on that note, and I'm going to say this just for you, Matt, may the force be with you. And everyone, thank you so much. And y'all take care. And don't forget to come to my mental health panel later on today. Y'all take care.
We'll
Thanks,
be there.
Jerry.
Thank you, Jerry. Raphael.
As usual, I have too much to say. I'm going to try to keep it as brief as I can. Some people that I want to express my gratitude to are Rebecca, first of all, for encouraging me to run for this board when my background and experience was with other organizations, but the leadership that we're showing as a board here has been kind of life-changing for me. And I hope that, well, I'm looking forward to what's coming next. I wanted to say thank you to Matt for your guidance through all of this. I know that the worst thing that Matt Hall can receive is a text message from Rafael Almeida saying, "Can you call me, please?"
Not the worst. Not the worst.
And also thank you to John for your responsiveness to every question, every need that I had, every discussion that I needed to get some historical context to some of the things that we were discussing and debating as a board. All three of you, honestly, I think you all deserve a toast, a salary. You deserve every ounce of appreciation that you're getting right now. To the members, you guys, you made your voices heard in very strong ways, and we listened. And I want you to know that that's always going to happen. Whether we end up agreeing on an issue or not, we're going to listen to you. We're going to hear you out. Never be afraid to raise your voice, because this is a board that we're not an ivory tower. We make our decisions, we talk things out, we hammer things out, and sometimes it hurts a little. But that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you standing up and saying, hey, we want things. As members, we want to be appreciated, we want to be understood, we want to be heard. I concur with you. I appreciate you and I'm listening to you, as I hope the rest of my board members will certainly agree. Thank you very much.
Well said. Great note, Raphael.
Ling.
So this might be the most diverse board in SPJ history, but clearly one area that we all have a lot in common is always having something to say, right? I think the other thing that we all have in common on this board is our dedication in journalism and furthering the profession and the journalists who serve the profession. I just want to say thank you so much to Matt for this privilege of being on the board this year. And also thank you to all of my fellow sister board members, because what we did this year was not only the work of the society in a ridiculously difficult year, but we also this year modeled how to have really difficult, often unpleasant conversations that are necessary in any pluralistic democratic society. And in that way, I think we not only furthered the journalism profession, but I also think that we furthered the greater cause of democracy, which is one I know we all believe in. So thank you.
Beautiful. Thanks, Bailing.
Great comments by all. I will just add that I think this board was historic for many reasons. One was I think we met more than any board probably has ever met in SPJ history, for the most number of hours of any board in SPJ history. If you remember when we did the DISC assessment, we have a lot of C's in this group, conscientiousness. So we analyze those issues inside and out, and I think that was important. Though we needed to do that. And the things you had to deal with. This is probably the only board ever that's never met in person, at least once, or even had a moment of that. So kudos to you all for the work you did. And then I'll just share a final word to Matt. I'll miss our Monday morning calls. I really enjoyed those. You were a good coach to me. You inspired me. You pushed me. You always kept us thinking about things that we may not have been on top of mind, and you brought it there, and you helped the organization stay focused on what matters. And that's I'll be always thankful for that. Nothing but respect for how you handle meetings. And it's clear you run an opinion outfit there in San Diego because you're unflappable in a lot of ways, and I admire that, and that's something that I definitely have learned from. So thank you, Matt. Look forward to a chance when we can get together, when we can talk about baseball over a beer instead of over a phone call. So excited for that. So thank you for your service.
First round's on me whenever that happens.
Okay, fine with that. So that was all for, again, I wish we could do more publicly for you all as far as bring you up on a stage and shower you with praise, but it's the best we've got for today. And just know that the staff really appreciates, and I'm sure the organization does, your service. So thank you.
Thank you, John. Thank you again to the board and to all those on this call. And with that, I will entertain a motion to end our shortest meeting of the year. Nice job, you guys.
And I would like that honor once again.
Second.
I move we adjourn.
Motion by
Second.
Lauren, second by, I'm sorry, I missed it.
By Bailing.
Bailing, okay. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
No opposition, no abstentions. And
Board
with that,
meeting ends.
entertain the motion. All those in favor, say aye. Boom,
Aye.
Aye.
done. An hour. Thanks, you guys.
Thanks,
I
Matt.
appreciate it. And enjoy the convention, everyone. It's going to be incredible.
It is.
Bye,
Take care,
everybody.
everyone.
See you soon.
Everyone.